Hi, I'm Carla Page, and welcome to my program. Thank you very much for watching. I truly appreciate all of the support you've given me over the years. I've got a very special show this week. Two ladies who are going to tell you about some very valuable things and valuable information they're going to share with you. I have with me Karen LeQuy. She's the founder and executive director of Key to Independent Growth. And also, along with Karen, is Amy Linen Gear, and she's the director of agency operations. And I'm telling you, I want you to get on the phone and please call your friends and let them know that we're on, okay? Thank you. Hi, Karen.
Hi there. How are you?
How you doing?
Thanks for having us.
Oh, my pleasure. Hi, Amy.
Hi, how are you?
How you doing? So I was talking in the beginning about where you're from and where you're representing. So Key to Independent Growth, explain, because you are the founder, Karen, and the director. So what is it?
Well, we're a not-for-profit company that is located primarily in Boston Spa. However, we do services in 9 separate counties within the state. And we do a variety of services. So we do service coordination, which is essentially case management. We work with people with brain injuries, the elderly, mental health, substance abuse, people with ongoing medical conditions. The list is pretty extensive. We do everything in addition to case management. We do clinical services in the homes. So the counselors will come out to the house to counsel the person because a lot of times they have difficulty leaving their home and sticking with it. We do a service that's called psychosocial rehabilitation, or PSR. And that is helping people with skills such as budgeting, organizing, meal planning, just basically how to essentially do some everyday things that they may have lost their skill for. We also do a day program. And again, in that program, we serve the elderly, people with disabilities, traumatic brain injury, veterans, a various array of people, and we have discovered that through the process, we've grown very quickly. There's not a lot of services right now because, unfortunately, a lot of various agencies had to close due to COVID. And so we're extremely needed right now. So the seniors program has sparked to the point that we had one day program. We were going to move the whole day program into another building. So we have a second office in Boston Spa.
Okay.
But because the attendance was so high, we had to keep our old site open as well. It's a huge need. And I think we're different than other day programs in that we go out into the community frequently. We don't just sit and throw the ball around and things like that. Even when we stay within the confines of the walls, we do so many different things. We have air hockey, we have the Wii game, we have special guests come in for animal soothing, support, emotional support, lots of artwork. Our director is a graduate of Skidmore Art Program. So they're very active and involved. And the staff that we hire, both there and in our other programs, are very skilled in what they do. PSR is a much needed service that unfortunately has never been reimbursed appropriately.
And what does that stand for?
Psychosocial rehabilitation.
Okay.
And Amy actually was the director of that program for some time. She could probably elaborate more.
Yeah, I will. I'll get to you.
Yeah,
just
it's a huge, very valued service by the client.
Yes.
And of course, clinical services. We all know after COVID, clinical services have exploded, and the need is huge.
That's it.
So, they're all in all, the populations that we serve.
Yes.
They seem very diverse. But we're finding more and more that they're very much alike and very attached. For example, you serve a veteran comes home from war, they have PTSD, so they need the emotional support of a clinical service. They have not remained connected to people, so they need the social interaction of a day program. They aren't good with budgeting and how to work with that, so they need the PSR. They need a case manager to help them stay from being homeless, helping them get food, keeping their heat on. There's various different things that are connected to just that one person.
Sure.
The same with the elderly. You know, yes, a lot of them have family, but a lot of them have no one, you know, and we help them get the things that they need. And that was another thing Amy started. She started a food pantry for our clients. So they're never without.
Sure.
We have a rule within the agency. I don't care if it's 5 o'clock on Friday. If they don't have food or shelter
Yes.
or heat, you're going to find out how to get it.
Wow, I love it.
It's vital. You know,
Oh,
that's, you know, again, why I think we're unique. Where there are certain things that everyone, I call us the land of the misfit toys, but I mean it in a loving way because every person who works there cares beyond measure. They really want to help.
Yes.
And that's
sure.
the kind of, that's what I, you know, it's a requirement. That's to work there,
Yes, yes.
you know.
You know, when you sit there and you talk to me about what's going on, I can just feel all the love and the caring and the compassion right within you. And I know that you're located at 425 East Line Road in Boston Spa, but you have another location too for the day program. Will you tell the viewers about that?
Sure.
And then I'll talk with you, Amy.
We're located at 100 Saratoga Village Boulevard, Suite 8, which is in the Malta Commons. It's a big, you know, plaza type place in Boston Spa as well. So they're only about a mile apart from each other.
Yes.
So, and
yes.
that's actually ideal in some ways too, because they'll do things together and sometimes separately, depending upon the
Sure.
circumstances. But we already have plans to move into South Glens Falls, Stillwater, Schenectady, because
Wow.
there's so much going on.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That is.
My ultimate project is to have a veterans building for homeless veterans. And we will have alcohol and substance abuse clinic on one side, a drop-in center, because if you're aware, you know, familiar with veterans, they do not have a social place to go that is not centered around alcohol and substance, you know, and they struggle with that. And then on the other side would be our day program.
Yes.
We're going to serve meals for the holidays, and then we're going to have 45 or 50 single or double occupancy apartments.
Oh.
That is the ultimate plan. It's been my dream for years. It's going to take a lot of work and a lot of hands. Obviously, I can't do it by myself, but that's the dream for Key to Independent Growth.
That's something. Wow, that is something. So Key is K-E-E, and I know you shared with us earlier, and I have to let the viewers know because it is K-E-E. How did that name come about, K-E-E?
Well, I started the company, it's almost 15 years now, and my nephew was very young, and my parents had passed, and his grandparents on the other side had passed, and I became the aunt, godmother, and grandparent to this child, who I just absolutely adore, and he couldn't say Karen, so he called me Key. And to this day, he's 20-something now, and he still calls me Key.
That's something beautiful. Let me ask you this, Karen. Did anything ever happen with you personally that made you want to do this? Did you ever have any personal experience with any of these divisions that made you say, I want to do something
Right.
for others?
Well, various things. I grew up very poor. We were lucky that we had enough food to eat. We weren't well taken care of. My parents were alcoholics. So I immediately wanted to help. And I literally raised myself in a way that I constantly was helping people even when I was younger. But the veteran thing is huge as well. I have 2 brothers that are veterans. Both are home. One was homeless for many years, and he passed away homeless. And the story behind that is very sad. He died in a rinky-dink hotel less than 2 miles from my home. And my oldest brother's name was on his next of kin. And we were never notified by the VA, even though he's buried in the VA cemetery, that he passed. We had been looking for him, and we found out 5 years later, almost to the day. And then again, my other brother, who suffers from some mental illness and substance and alcohol abuse, he's been homeless various times, and our agency has helped him. And then my husband is an Iraq veteran, and he was boots on the ground, combat, and worked his butt off, and he came home and he had severe PTSD for several months. So there's a lot of personal emotion behind it. I think pretty much everything I do is extremely passionate because of that.
Yes, yes. Wow. Thank you for sharing.
Of
Thank you
course.
very much.
Thank you.
Well, I am so happy to be talking with Karen and Amy today from Key to Independent Growth. And they're at 425 East Line Road in Boston Spa, but they're also down the street, which Karen was telling you about. But we're going to tell you about an event that's going to be taking place on the 18th of December, and we want you to show up. We want you to show up. Amy, I'll ask you a few questions now. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Now, I know you're serving over like 10 different, counties, but how did you get involved? How do you know? I know Karen says she's known you, but how did you get involved with working with her?
I have been working in the human services field since I graduated high school. I worked for other agencies, and then I was at my max and I needed something new, and Karen had something to offer that I hadn't done before. So I applied at Key to Independent Growth, and I started there as a service coordinator, and I loved it, and I've just loved being there ever since, and that's where I stay.
So now, what do you actually do with the job that you do? What do you do?
I am the director of agency operations. So I oversee a lot of our programs, and I help just to make sure that the day-to-day operations and the functioning of the agency continues to operate in a smooth way.
Okay, wow. And you, along with Karen, I feel just by sitting here with both of you, I'm a very good, judge of people's spirits. That you feel the same way about the wanting to help, wanting to give, wanting to really know that people are all right and safe and taken care of.
Absolutely. Yes, everybody who works there is extremely passionate about helping anybody. We help all of our clients. We have an array of people that we serve, but we also make sure that we take care of our employees as well. That's something that's really important to us. Anytime that anybody needs anything across departments, we are very supportive of one another. We will be talking about our Christmas program, but we always make sure that our employees, aren't struggling for the holidays. We help them out the best that we can. Same thing with our food pantry. If anybody needs any food, yes, it's open to the clients, but it's also open to any employee that needs that as well. So we're a very supportive agency. We love all of our clients, but we also love all of our coworkers too.
That's beautiful. And the ages are 18 to 98 as far as who the span of ages that you help and work with? That's a big, large span.
It is. Yes, we serve all adults, 18 and up, and there's no real limit on age right now that we have to go by, so we will help anybody that we can.
So I will be talking to you again, Karen, and we'll talk about the event. But Amy, back to you. What do you personally, I know you're talking about compassion, but did you go through anything yourself coming up that whereas you're tied into this as well personally yourself?
Yes, so I grew up with a sibling who was disabled. She has since passed, but I think a lot of my compassion for caring about people came from that, watching people help her, the experience of having to help her, having my mom taking care of my sister. It wound up just having a very big impact on me and how I do my day-to-day tasks and my work. It's definitely comes from the deep roots.
Sure. And you've been there how long?
I've been at Key to Independent Growth for 8 years now.
8 years. And it's been around Karen for?
14 and a half.
14 and a half years. That's something. Thank you. Thank you, Amy. I'm going to say a name to you and just say the very first thing that comes to your head. Okay. Elaine Pickett.
I'm going to say compassionate. There's really more than one, but she's motivated to help us move KIGI forward. KIGI is the acronym, KIGI. Because she's passionate about seeing us grow and seeing the agency as a whole become better and more well known, because there's a lot that people aren't even aware we're there. We serve 2 different types of waivers, and we have contracts with the Department of Health and the Department of Office of Mental Health. But there's still so many more. Our seniors are served through the county. They're all with different contracts. And Elaine gets out there and does the nitty gritty. You know, she'll call different places and say, hey, we could use some money for our Christmas program. Or, hey, let me tell you about us. You know, and that is something that has been very lacking and yet very needed for many years.
That's
So,
something.
yeah.
Well, I wanted to give my own props to Elaine Pickett, and her title is Community Outreach Coordinator. I've known Elaine a long time, her husband, her son, and we've worked together, and she's the real deal. That's what I want to say about it. She's the real deal, and caring and kind. So I love the team, and I can imagine how many other people are working on this team. Who else is
We have about 40 employees.
40?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow,
And
40.
still growing. We
still
literally just
growing.
hired 2 people that just started this week. So we're doing very well, thank God. But you know, when we struggle, one of the things that my husband points out is, you know, God's going to take care of you, and he's going to take care of you because your heart is pure. It's because we want to help, and we truly want to help, you know? And again,
Amen.
being the land of the misfit toys, we're misfit because there's no one at that agency that doesn't care as much as Amy and Elaine and I.
Oh, wow.
There really isn't.
Yes, yes.
And you feel it, you know? You
Yes.
can feel it when and they don't stay if they're not. you know?
Sure.
The only ones that stay are really people that care.
Aye, sure.
So,
So,
yeah, we got about 40.
40. Wow. Hello to all of you. Give your information on how you can be reached, and Amy, I'll do the same. How can you be reached if someone needed to talk to you, if they had a concern or a comment or just questions?
So our phone number, we have a one line that literally goes into a voicemail, unfortunately, because we like direct contact. So once you go through the voicemail, it is directed to the right person within the agency, and then they will call back, and then they will give you their direct number. But our main number is 518-309-3557. And you can call that number and leave a message at any time, and we can assure you that somebody will get back to you.
And that's your number as well?
Yes.
Okay, that's yours as well. Okay, that's great. So let's talk about this big event on December the 18th. I wish I could be there. Oh my goodness. What's going to happen? Tell us about a Santa event.
Well, I started that probably 6 or 8 years ago. Started out very small, trying to, help our clients, because many of them have children living with them or even grandkids, and they can't afford to help. So we started by reaching out to the community, getting some sponsors. We do have some fairly large sponsors, like Price Chopper helps us, Hannaford helps us. There's a number of them, Chamber Angels, Toys for Tots. So we gather all of that, but again, we have a lot of personal people that sponsor. And so then as the agency grew and I had a lot less time, I kind of said, hey, Amy. And Amy, I call her my Christmas elf. Not only does she dress like one, she has the spirit of the holiday. Like,
Okay.
she and my sister are the only 2 people I know that are like that.
Oh, nice.
Like they'll decorate for Christmas tomorrow.
True.
So, and Amy is very motivated, and she sees things very similar to me. Mm-hmm. And so I'll let her elaborate a little bit more on the Christmas program.
Tell us more.
So, like Karen had said, we do a Christmas program for our clients and any employees that we have that are in need. We do get various sponsors, which have been helpful. I think this year we're at 200 children that will be helping get served. So we're right around the 200 mark. We just collect donations. There's a lot of people out there that want to help. So they get in contact with us, whether if it's contacting an employee directly or contacting me directly. And then we just get them set up. They can pick, as a sponsor, they can pick a variety of different ways to help. They could donate items, they can do a monetary donation, they can be assigned a child and get their wish list and shop for that child, co-sponsor. So we are open and very flexible into making sure that the people who want to help can help in whatever means that they can. And that's how it works. It's community. It really is love and community that makes it happen.
It's quite large. Pretty much all of our staff, they might be out, we work in the environment of the homes, but when they come into the office, even if they have 20 minutes, they're helping wrap presents. We do the whole gamut. We do everything. We purchase, we wrap, we deliver. Our staff delivers to them.
And delivers.
Because unfortunately a lot of our clients are
Yes,
low income and can't afford to get to us. They have no way to get there. So there's a lot going on. And when you walk into the room, when we have all of our gifts, before we start dispersing them, you would not believe the sight. It'll melt your heart.
And Amy, you also have people tell Santa what they want?
Absolutely.
Ooh, I want to tell Santa what I want. Can you take a note?
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
Yes.
On the 18th of December from 11 to 1, Santa will be at 425 East Line Road, and we will have elves, and it'll be decorated, and the children can come in. They can drop off their letter to Santa. They can get their picture taken with Santa if they would like to. They can just drive through and wave if they wanted. Again, it's a free community event. It's open to anybody. So we would love to have everybody just come through and say hello to Santa, adult or child, doesn't
They get
matter.
a little gift usually. And
Yep, they do. They as you come through, there's usually a little something that is for everybody to take with them.
Our employee plays Santa every year.
Oh,
So
really?
here's the clincher. This is, to me, one of the best parts about this. Once we're done, once all of our agency is taken care of, Bill is his name, he then takes the rest of the toys that are left over, and he goes into low-income housing and disperses them amongst the families. And last year, we were able to serve 42 additional families besides our own.
That is something.
So we really, nothing goes to waste. If somebody, if we've saved money, if we have, more than enough, we'll put it in the bank and use it towards the next year. We even have we have an office that we changed over to a closet to help store over the years. It's Amy, fortunately, she goes out shopping, after Christmas and buys all the things on sale.
Yeah, that's good. That's good to do.
Well, a lot of children need coats and
Yes.
boots, and those things are expensive. And a lot of times the children that we have for our program with their families, sometimes they have to walk to school, and you want the children to go to school, but sometimes if it's too cold, they don't have a proper coat, or maybe they're
No,
still
they don't.
outside and they don't have boots to wear to school. It's helpful for them to have the items that they need to get to school, or maybe they did walk to school, but if their feet are all wet or they're so cold, they're not going to be able to focus when they're in class. So
No, they're not.
we have so many reasons why we want to be able to get them boots and coats.
Yes.
Having the community help us is really really helpful. Actually, Ocean State Job Lot in Malta just gave us a donation, and so that can help us purchase some coats or boots.
Oh my.
So yeah.
Is there any other way that we as a community or the communities that'll be watching this can help? I mean, what else can we do?
Very frequently, people will send us a check. Sometimes it's anonymous. Don't ask me how. They'll go to get a PO and just write Christmas program on it. We get a lot of unusual. For example, we have somebody with a brain injury that we once served as one of our clients, and she's since graduated, let's say, and now she donates Thanksgiving baskets for 60-some people every year, in addition to getting gift cards and everything else for Christmas. We have a past client's family who we served 3 of their family members, and they buy stuff for the client. You know, they're on the list to do it every year, so it's kind of like a give and take even with them. But if people want to donate, please feel free to either call the office again, 518-309-3557, or you can mail a check or a money order to P.O. Box 243, Ballston Spa, New York, 12020, which again is Key to Independent Growth, P.O. Box 243, Ballston Spa, New York, 12020.
So I'll wind up again with back to that to let the people know. But I was just sitting here thinking too, and I wanted to ask you, Karen, and thank you for all that information. I'm getting like just goose pimples thinking about this. I am. And, you know, I may not can be there on the 18th, but keep me in mind
Absolutely.
for something down the road.
Okay.
I mean that.
We will.
Because I can help you.
Thank
And I want to. Okay, and this program is dedicated to my friend Buddy Harvey, who was a veteran, and we just lost him. So, Buddy, we love you, and we're going to miss you. So this show is for you. It's for you. Karen, back to the everyday of what you do, okay, at Key to Independent Growth. So if a person needs your services, I know you're saying it's for people who don't have an income. What happens there if you don't have the money, but you need to be treated? What happens?
Well, 9 times out of 10, people come to us through the waivers,
Okay.
which is through, again, the Department of Health or the Office of Mental Health.
Okay.
And they're all on Medicaid, everyone, and the Medicaid pays for it.
Gotcha.
However, for seniors, it's not always that way. We do accept some insurances, but we also have a sliding scale, and we also have contracts with different places within the community that do grants to help them pay for that. So it's kind of, the funding streams are very different. Certainly, when they contact the waivers, they'll get directed to an agency, and we're on the list of agencies that is the option to go to.
That's wonderful. So now where do you see yourself this time next year, Karen? This time next year?
I'm hoping, since Amy is the director of agency operations and takes a whole lot off of my plate, that I will be able to focus on the building. Starting to get grants and things in line to create my dream of helping more veterans. We do have some veteran clients, but I would really like to help a lot more.
Wow, that's something. That's beautiful. I wanted to ask both of you something. And, this show is going to be airing after Thanksgiving. But I want to ask both of you just what you have to be thankful for. It could be whatever you'd like to say. And I'll start with you, Karen. What do you have to be thankful for? And I know you want to say about your project, but what do you have to be thankful for? Anything else?
Yes, that my husband's alive when he returned from the war. My grandchildren are alive and healthy, and so are my 2 daughters. Those are the most important things in my life, along with my nephew, as I told you about him earlier. To me, it's all about health and happiness, and I firmly believe that I was put on this earth to help people. I just believe that was God's mission for me, and I'm able to do that, so I'm a blessed woman.
Wow. Thank you. Amy, how about you?
I am thankful for people, whether they're my family people, my work people, people that are in the community. There's so many kind people that are out there, and without kind people, it would be really difficult to do a lot of different things. So I'm very thankful for people.
So 11 to 1 on the 18th, 425 East Line Road in Ballston Spa, a Santa event. Please show up. And thank you both for being here. Come again. Will you come again?
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure. And thank you all for watching. God bless you. And I love you. I'll see you.